Yeah.
and fiber cables.
We,
I don't think that's going to help, do you?
oh, there we go.
What's the hooks that records, that usually records everything?
Say that again, sir?
What's the hooks that usually records it?
Yeah.
But I don't know. And we have a good Wi-Fi signal here.
Yeah, it's
Got a plate right there.
I think a weird thing with Facebook, I mean, I don't pretend to know a lot about, I know enough about technology to do what I need to do, but
That's about the way I am.
and sometimes less than I need to know probably, but I've noticed with live videos I've had some hit or miss things, and I don't know if that's the Facebook platform or if it's the internet, because how many people go live, there's that whole thing of servers and stuff that I don't understand. But
Yeah, and we average somewhere around a couple thousand. Last week's group had 3,200 views.
Cool.
And it's just one more way of it. It's like the internet. I mean, it's going to be broadcast worldwide. So
Yeah.
it's all kinds of platforms wrapped up in one. All right, there we go.
Cool.
Welcome to Stars Across Kentucky here at WRBK. Charlie Napier, your host of the radio show. And we just always want to encourage you folks when you're coming into Kentucky to come off of exit 62, come down to Renfro Valley, and you can even come up to this radio station, WRBK. We're on Red Foley Drive, and you're welcome to stop by sometimes out there in the world and say hello. We feature her talent here in Kentucky on a Wednesday, every Wednesday, have for about 8 years now. And I can date that back with Alex Miller because he's one of the very earliest ones on here. and I've known that kid for about that many years there. And we just saw the need to bring these folks to you and let you listen to some of them. And we have a lot of folks that talk about you all on the entertainment level. And today we have a fellow that I've had really a hard time getting him in here. It's sort of like a jewel, if you will. Willy James, welcome to Stars Across
Thanks
Kentucky.
for having me.
I mean, I've been after Willy James forever.
Yeah, it seems like I crossed, just something always came up. I'm glad I finally got in here.
Well, I'm glad you finally got in here too. And Willy and I's been talking for the last 30 minutes, and I finally stopped him a while ago. I said, I won't put this on the radio. Hang on. I don't like to hear too much on that. I sort of sidetracked Willy with car shows. We got to talk about car shows.
I love cars.
He loves cars, and I love cars. And we spent probably 25 minutes, and then he got off on that real stuff about Willy. I said, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But let the folks know a little about where you're from and a little about that early story there.
Yeah, so I currently live in Richmond, Kentucky. I was born in Montana, but I started writing really young. I was in 3rd grade, and my dad's side of the family's from North Carolina, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and that's where all my music came from. And so I grew up with it so much that I thought writing songs was just something that everyone did. It wasn't even. So in 3rd grade, I wrote my first song. I didn't play guitar.
Do you remember your first song?
Not if someone asked me to play it.
No. I mean, do you remember the title of it?
I do. It was called Mystery Heroes, and it was I remember the one good line that was in it was, "I'm not ashamed of them because they were mystery heroes then." And as a 3rd grader writing this stuff, but it was pretty heavy content. It was about like a soldier and a policeman in a riot, and then so I don't know where a 3rd grader decided to write something but by the time I got a guitar around 11, I'd written close to like 50 songs.
Wow.
And like they were, but I didn't know how to play guitar. So I was like, I need to learn how to play so that I can play my songs. So I would learn parts of songs, chord progressions, just to be able to put them towards my songs I'd written. So it wasn't until probably 3 years in that I learned a like full song of someone else's, because I was just working on my own stuff. And
now, did you keep all those songs through the years, or?
Oh, I wish. A lot of them I do have. I have a notebook locked far, far away that no one can see ever of the first ones. Music for me was just like second nature. Like I wasn't really, a sports guy. I wasn't anything else. But when I got a guitar, I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and I just kind of ran after it and never looked back. But yeah, I have I don't know, maybe close to 25 of those first ones, like actually written down in this old notebook, that's.
A lot of, it'd be interesting. I was trying to think, the first song I ever tried to attempt to write, and I can't really call it back either.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't play it. Like I remember that line, and I remember the subject matter, and I remember I wrote the first and second verse, and it just sat there. And then actually after 9/11, I wrote a third verse in response to that, and kind of finished the song. And then I don't know if anyone ever heard it. Like even my family, I don't know if I even played it for them, because it was like, I can't remember if it was Willie Nelson or one of the prolific songwriters said the best way to write a good song is to write a lot of songs.
Let's do a song, and are you going to do your songs that you have written?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the title of the song, and give me the backdrop on why you wrote that song.
Okay. Well, so I figured I'd start with this one. It's an introduction to me. I was listening to, I love autobiographies, and I was listening to Waylon Jennings, and I was like, I should write an autobiographical song. So I did some research, and I was like, well, I was born 10 days shy of the 4th of July, and I was like, well, that rhymes, so that's going to be where it starts.
That's cool, yeah.
And then I just kind of, my dad was a cowboy by trade, so I read about him and where I was born in Madison County, Montana, and then the second verse is kind of about my faith and the different things that distracted me from that. And I'm going to be recording this year at some point. I'm recording a lot, so it's kind of deciding when. But this is called Cheap Whiskey and Wisdom.
All right.
10 days shy of the 4th of July, summer just void at night. A cowboy and his lady said hello to the baby 40 miles from the Madison line, where they say I was at, but I really can't remember. It's one of many memories can't seem to recall. I was born with a song in my heart. Kissing it from the very start, trying to refine my soul, working on a diamond with a piece of coal. Now I always had a taste for cheap whiskey and wisdom, neither or I suppose. Never could decide which one I loved the most. A steeple or a bar stool, an altar or swinging doors, jukebox or neon, or church choir roll. I'm born with a song in my heart. Now I'm chasing it from the very start. My soul, working on a diamond with a piece of coal.
chasing it from the very start, trying to refine my soul, working on a diamond with a piece of coal.
Okay, working on diamond with a piece of coal. You're the diamond, right?
Yep. Eventually.
I kept listening to that, and I'm going, okay, he's diamond that's coming out of this piece of coal.
Yeah. Which takes a lot of pressure, so apparently it's working.
Good job on
Thank
this
you.
song, and good vocals on it, and your guitar playing. I can tell it really paid off after all those years of
Locking myself in a room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love guitar playing. It's for a long time I didn't know how to sing. Like I had a voice, but I had zero concept of singing.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to harmonize with a guitar, and I learned to play and sing at the same time, essentially. You know, and
Now, when you said, 11, 12-year-old, you had your first guitar?
Yeah.
When did you really become with the guitar? 15, 16?
oh, man, well, truthfully, let's see here. I had the guitar for a couple of years, and I just learned it maybe 2, 3, 4 chords. And I didn't really do a lot with it. And then, let's see, about 13, 14, I started really focusing on improving. And then it took me quite a while. I'd say to be able to be confident in it, it was probably more around 15 or 16 that I would play in front of people or have anything. And then it's just been a gradual. I constantly try to learn something, so.
Well, Don Quarles said, what a great song. It was a great song, and I enjoyed it. Let's get another one out and I'll take a break, and I'm going to try to get some songs out of this guy here, because I've yet to meet him till today, and all of us are meeting him together. This is Willy James.
So this song's called Fair to Midland. This is the only song I released last year. I had that saying for years. I'd heard it, and I put it in a song. It's probably one of my most popular tunes I've released recently, but...
Fair to Midland, my darling, I'm somewhere in between, wondering what the hell I'm doing, living the dream. Sometimes I grow weary, sometimes I grow small, but do my best work with my back against the wall. Well, I'm fair to Midland, my darling, worn and tattered at the seams, looking for the reason I am me. Sometimes I grow weary, sometimes I grow small, but do my best work with my back against the wall. Pay me at a quarter, well, I'll find my way out, using the stepping stones, fear and doubt. I'm fair to Midland, my darling, so I'm somewhere in between,
Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I could hear a little bit of Johnny Cash in your voice.
I've heard that. Yeah, I love Johnny. I mean, I grew up on the old. My mom's favorite artist was Waylon, so I listened to all of the Outlaw stuff, and you know, I love Johnny Cash. I love Waylon. I love all of them. I mean, and when I get in my lower register, I can do Johnny pretty well. But I also, in my high register, because I love the blues. I did blues for a while as well, and like Fogerty and stuff like that was kind of where I went with the higher register. And then the older I got, my voice got lower and lower, and I was like, oh, I can sing low, you know. And then like, so
well, your compression on the song. I mean, you're putting it out there, you know. It's good.
I love singing. As I was saying before, I kind of was more of a guitarist that sang, and then I started to learn the instrument of my voice, and now I think I enjoy singing even more than I do guitar, which I never thought would happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue with Willie James after this break. I'll let you talk to folks out there on Facebook. You say hello to one of your dear friends out there. Trudy is showing you the love. Trudy, right?
Hi, Trudy. How are you? I'm glad you're watching.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I feel so fortunate. She's a great friend. Awesome performer in her own right. Have you had Trudy on here?
She's coming.
Is she? Great. Yeah, she's awesome. She's one of my favorites since I
The good news about you, we've got a sort of a huge network, you know, of you all connected, and usually by the time one leaves here, they'll have somebody say, hey, why don't you bring up, you know.
Honestly, I got, it was James Abney that told me about you, and then I remember reaching out, and then, you know, taking forever to figure out when I can get on here. But
it gets interesting right now. I mean, we're like, I think in July.
Cool.
With talent.
It's every Wednesday you're doing this?
It is.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we keep it, you know, fresh as we can to let folks, you know, listen to some of the talent across the region, because I'll pursue this in a minute. I don't want to spoil it for the radio folks on Facebook here, because they get to hear everything. But we want the radio folks to hear. We got Donald Quarles up in Michigan. You can say hi to him.
Hi, Donald. Thanks for watching.
Then Greg Thurber also is watching up in that neck of the woods there.
Appreciate it. Michigan's an awesome state.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We have few listeners coming out of there all the time.
Yeah.
He says he wants to know, where do you we listen to your music, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but on YouTube or Spotify or what?
Yeah, I'm on Spotify, and it's Willy with a Y. A lot of people put Nye, but it's Willie James with a Y. And if you Google me, I'm usually the first person that pops up.
I'm wondering if I put your name correctly.
Oh, it happens so often, you know. I mean, yeah, that's not the first time and won't be the last time if it was.
It's forgiving, right?
Yeah, of course. It was a running joke for a long time. I'd introduce myself. I'm Willie with a Y, you know. And Aaron McGlone, he started introducing me like that. He's like, Willie with the Y, James, you know.
Don said thanks a lot for that. Awesome. He's a boy. He loves music.
That's great.
And he gets very involved in the radio show every day. So
well, thanks.
We
Appreciate
love Donald a lot up there in Michigan. Greg,
fans are.
Greg now he brings his munchies down here every once in a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a painter.
Oh, cool.
And but we're getting ready to go back on here. You folks on Facebook, you get to hear the rest of the story. We are back with our Stars Across Kentucky. Willie James is our guest today from, I guess, Richmond?
That's where I live, yeah. It's Richmond. Yeah, just west of Richmond.
And I don't know if you want to say anything about this or not, but I know you've had some health issues.
Well, that actually segues to what I'll play next. I have Becker's muscular dystrophy, which is a genetic wasting disease. And I was diagnosed about 4 years ago. I have a brother that has it, a nephew that has it.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's something you have to. I've reached a level of contentment through faith and knowing that, you know, I don't go through anything alone. So it's
absolutely.
So it's I also have always, I'm a connoisseur of sorrow in sorts. Like I've went through a lot of things in my life, and music and faith has always been the
Number one.
cornerstones, you know. I mean, and so yeah, it's an odd one to deal with, because it's like a day-to-day thing of you know, one day I'm good, the next day I'm not, you know. Other than the actual wasting, the symptoms are like spasms and cramps. So like these storms, when they come in, I could be a weatherman. It'd be like, oh, yeah, you know, like oh, there's a storm coming, you know.
Well, bless your heart. But I know that's and music, of course, it gives you almost a way out to deal with it. Beside the Lord gives you the talent, and
Yep.
you're putting it to great use.
Yeah, the song so I recorded an album year before last, just an acoustic album called Survivor, and I got diagnosed, and at that time I was living in Montana, and I was taking care of our horses, and it was 30 below zero, and I was busting waters, and I'm like angry because I hadn't reached the contentment. I was still trying to figure that out, and I hadn't given it away and all that, and so I was very angry, and I went into the house, and I was like, I need to write, I need to do something to get this out, because this isn't healthy, you know. And I prayed, and then I picked up the guitar, and I thought I was going to write a really like angst, like, you know, woe is me kind of song, and it ended up being this kind of like survivor anthem. And that's my family. I come from a long line of survivors of, you know, life in general. But since I released this song, I've had a lot of people, when I play it out, you know, like cancer survivors and domestic abuse, you know. I mean, every single person at some point in their life is going to have to persevere. That's just a reality.
That's just the reality.
And
Right.
I think that, you know, music obviously is one of the most powerful things to, if you can use what you're going through to express it to where someone they can feel that empathy, you know, rather than sympathy of like, it really goes a long way. So this song is definitely connected with a lot of people since I, you know, wrote it, and I, oddly enough, kind of just wrote it thinking that no one would really hear it. It was more of a means to an end to my that time kind of thing. But this is called Survivor.
Well, I'm a survivor. I know what it takes to survive. I'm a believer. By faith alone, I'm alive. So I won't let sorrows define me, and I won't let demons get me down, 'cause I'm a survivor. Oh, there's lonely in my heart, sadness in my soul, dishes in the kitchen, dirt on the floor, lead when the wind blowing through the door reminds me I don't wanna be here no more. But I'm a survivor. I know what it takes to survive. I'm a believer. By faith alone, I'm alive. So I won't let sorrows find me, and I won't let demons get me down, 'cause I'm a survivor. Though the devil's in the shadows, disgracing the truth, I'm luckily too damn old for the sins of my youth. I drop my shield, attack with both hands, stand in the hope of the greater pain, 'cause I'm a survivor. I know what it takes to survive. I'm a believer. By faith alone, I'm alive. So I won't let sorrows define me, and I won't let demons get me down, 'cause I'm a survivor.
That is a positive song.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And like you said there, everybody runs into those storms.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the storm, your faith and that inner soul there
Yep.
brings you out.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a sort of one of those really get to you kind of songs. So.
Yeah. I've written a lot of very. I think that music is too powerful to. I'm not saying I haven't written good time songs, and those are fun and they're just as neat as anything else, right? It's an outlet. But if I'm going to sit down and write, more often than not, it's going to be a powerful message, or I think that the music is too powerful of a whatever it is to waste on just face value music. That's just personal preference. I don't. I find as a fan as well that I like the songs that maybe I'm crying by the end of it, or I'm feeling something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And the last song, I was feeling something from your song. So, and I'm a survivor myself. With gosh, I mean, you got Trish saying Willy's the best. You got a lot of your buddies on here.
Yeah, she's amazing as well. I've done Heartstrings with her, and then the acoustic guitar project, which was so cool. That was one of the coolest events or processes. You get a guitar for a week, and you get to write a song with the guitar. And there's each season, I think it's 5 artists, might be 4, I don't remember, but you each get it for a week, and you write a song, and then they record a video, and then you do a performance. And it's like I don't know if it's international at this point, but it's national thing, so it's not just here. And Trish is awesome. I really I don't know if there's anyone more professional than her. She's so good at speaking, and just she's a great person too.
I've had her up here. And, and we'll have her back in time.
Yeah. She's that song I wrote for that. I ended up writing 2 songs for that, and I wrote this one first, and it was really fun because I personally believe that each instrument has its own voice, like guitar-wise. I've went through so many guitars through the years, and it changes what I'm going to bring out. And Cedar was the name of this guitar. It was a cedar top Washburn, and it was really fun to write and play. And something that's really cool about that is it's actually going to be in the so you sign it afterwards. And there's all kinds of artists. I don't know how many seasons she's been doing that, but it's going to be in the Hall of Fame over down the road. I think in June they're doing bringing it in there, so that's pretty neat to be a part of something that's going to be in there. This song here is called Low Down Lonely Pain, and it's another this song's basically about grief. I definitely had like that seasonal depression thing, and it was a matter of whether it's the season or it just seems like you lose a lot of people in that time in the holiday, and so I was reminiscent of that when I wrote this, but yeah, this is called Low Down Lonely Pain. Have you ever felt the pain of a broken heart, searching for the strength to restart? Life can be more than mistakes made. Hope remains, regrets fade, and you're looking for the answers to the questions you can't define. Praying for redemption, for a little peace of mind. Oh, damn this pain. Oh, damn this pain. Low down lonely pain. Have you ever had the guilt to remain, searching for some
women, Lord, why not me? And you're looking for the answers to the questions you couldn't find, praying for redemption for a little peace of mind. Oh, damn this pain. Oh, damn this pain. Oh, damn this pain. Low down, lonely pain. Pain of leaving, pain to remain. This pain's driving me insane. Oh, damn this pain. Oh, damn this pain. Oh, damn this pain. Low down, lonely pain.
Hey.
All 100. Yeah, you know, another song that, gosh, it gives me a lot of pause to think. And when I look at the radio here, something's not right. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, well, I think an electrical surge thing.
I heard a pop
I
or
heard
something in the middle of
pop.
that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was lightning or
A
what.
lot went on there.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you heard that too, but it was rather loud, wasn't it?
It was. I wasn't sure if we got struck or what.
Okay, those are such as the things of radio. But you know, it messed things up here for a second or two. Anyway, I don't know how long, but you folks out on Facebook looks like you stayed pretty tight there, and we got to hear the boom and
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
It had something to do with our show today. But Willie James, you know, in your writing, you know, it's powerful because of just what you're doing. Is you're writing your innermost feelings.
Yeah, I
That season, and we all have those seasons. I mean, there's times I've heard people in the spring they're vibrant.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming alive, and then you know you get into the fall of the year, and then you get near Christmas, and you get that depressive, you know,
Yeah.
where I mean, it's hard on a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And you know, I lost my mother the day after Christmas, and that thought came to my mind
Yeah.
while you were singing that song. And it's powerful when it reaches back into your memory bank. And,
Yeah, I think vulnerability is key to being it's the shortest distance to connecting with someone. You know,
Yeah.
I think that if you can show your deepest scars through your art, that you're received more wholesomely. You know, it's not as. So I've always been that way. Just writing has got me through so much, and I personally think that creativity should be an aspect in everyone's life, because I think it's it doesn't have to be art. It doesn't even have to be just approaching things with a creative mindset. Really changes the way, because you focus on the possibility rather than the obstacles, or I do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just kind of how I've always approached things. But
well, we got a short break, and we'll be back here with more of Willie James on Stars Across Kentucky.
The Drug Enforcement Agency, or DEA.
All right. I don't know what went on there a while ago.
yeah, I'm not sure. I definitely heard it, but
It messed up a lot of things.
it must have been some kind of power surge, or
Could have been. It sounded sort of like a rumble of thunder, but I don't know. I don't know what it was.
yeah.
Once in a while, we'll get one of these surges, and that thing right there will sound like a
Oh, okay.
dynamite going off.
Yeah.
But this more sounded external.
Yeah, it sounded like it was outside or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay. Old North spot there. Somebody tried to text me something. I don't know what it was, but.
yeah, since moving, I've done a lot of co-writing, which I hadn't really been a part of until now, and I really enjoy that too. It's fun.
Visit us online at
Okay, we're going back.
or check us out on Facebook for upcoming events.
We're back on Stars Across Kentucky here at WRVK with a little bit of unusual activity in the show today. We never did figure that out, but some things are not meant to be. But we were just talking about you co-writing with maybe people like Trish and Trudy and some of those.
Yeah, I haven't had the I would love to write with either of them. But yeah, since moving, I've done a lot of co-writing, and it's been so much fun because for years, so I've written well over 1,000 songs.
Have you ever written a cowboy song since you were once?
So
cowboy?
I grew up on cowboy music,
Yeah, I know you
Marty Robbins and
our sheriff,
Michael Martin Murphy.
Listen, he's like he's not a cowboy, but he thinks he is.
I actually I love that, and I wrote a song about. I always thought it'd be cool. I was watching the sunset, and I was like, man, it would have been cool to have been a desperado riding off into the sunset, you know? like I don't know if I ever wanted to be a lawman in that. I always wanted to be the bad guy, it seemed like, for the outlaw stuff, which is so silly, but I started this song, and it was the last song I started before I moved, and I finished it, right before I got here, but this is on that Survivor album as well, which is just acoustic, me and a guitar like you're hearing right now. And this is another one that was pretty popular. A lot of people. So I took the first verse is about that. The second and third verse are more of other moments in time I wish I would have witnessed. But it's definitely got that old Western influence for sure. But this is called "Go Back." Picture a desperado waiting on a train. I will take the fortune, you can have the fame. I'll ride off to the horizon, sunset silhouette, leaving just memories you will never forget. I wanna go back. I wanna go back. I wish I were an explorer, sailing the open sea, searching for this new world waiting for me. When I reach the shore, I would light the mask, burn the shield, there ain't no turning back. Ooh, I wanna go back. Ooh, I wanna go back. So I can see its scarred hands, make me realize I'm worth more than I understand. Ooh, I wanna go back. Ooh, I wanna go back.
That's our cowboy song.
Yeah.
What a change. So how long did you stay in Montana?
Well, so that's a long. I was in 21 different addresses by the time I was 18, and I'd lived. So my mom's side of the family is from Montana. My dad's side of the family is from, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, and so I went back and forth. But the majority of my life was in Montana. We moved here, my wife and I, coming up on 3 years ago. But Kentucky, I spent time here. I went to preschool in Ashland, I believe it was. And then my uncle had lived in Paintsville, and I have cousins that lived there. And so I always came back, it seemed like, and it was one of the main reasons moving down here was the music. Like another was the climate, because winter in muscular dystrophy, and it's not a good, in Montana, it's just brutal.
It's pretty tough, isn't it? Yeah.
So it was like, I love the climate down here, it's so much better. And so yeah, I was in Montana a lot of my life, the majority of it. And then I've enjoyed every second of being here, though. There's things I miss about Montana, but at the end of the day, I'm happy to be here.
Speaking of Donald asking the question about your platforms, let's talk a little about some of your recording you've done and some of the places that people can find your music.
I have music on Spotify, Apple, basically all the platforms. I use a third-party distributor that puts it out on all of them. So if you type in Willy James into Google, it'll. I have a website through Bandzoogle that's it'll pop up when you put Willy James, because it's willyjames.bandzoogle. Whatever it is past that. But luckily, there's not a lot of Willy Jameses, so I'm kind of the only one that pops up if you Google me for music. And my main platform is Facebook, as far as keeping up with what I'm doing. And
it's your personal place there.
Yeah, I also I had mentioned previously, before we got on here, that I had a music page. I had about 13 years of a music page, and it got hacked here during the I think it was November or December, and so I lost like 13 years of content.
You lost all of it. Oh, nice.
All of it.
Nice.
So now I'm kind of starting over and deciding, what way I want to go with all of that. So yeah, if Willy James, you can find me on. I think the majority of people listen to me on Spotify, but I'm on YouTube and all of that as far as my music. I'm just starting to get more video content and stuff. That's kind of what I'm focusing on this year. I played 155 shows last year, so I just didn't have time to do anything other than
work and sing.
Yeah, work and sing. I worked minimum 40 hours, sometimes 50-hour weeks, and then would go play shows and didn't sleep much. I just and I loved it, but this year I was conscious about playing less shows and getting more recording done. So like as of right now, I have close to 15 songs in the can that I just kind of need to do finishing touches. I'm working with a couple of different producers, and I've recorded a handful of different places. And I had recorded physical albums. I've recorded 8 albums throughout the years, but a lot of those I didn't put online. And now I'm going to re-record a lot of that catalog, because now I have access to better equipment, better things like that. So, so basically, this year I'm going to be releasing quite a bit. I think I've released 6 songs or something so far this year. The song, I guess, I came in here not really thinking what I was going to play. I just kind of figured the conversation would...
And this whole program's like that.
I usually do that.
Yeah.
I can have an idea of, like, I'm going to play this one for sure. With that in mind, this song is another pretty powerful song that I'd worked a 10-hour day. I got up at 4 in the morning, worked 10 hours, went and played a show 2 hours away, got home about 1 in the morning or something, took a shower, and I'm like, I can't wait to be unconscious, because I gotta get up at 4 in the morning, and I'm like, whew. And I got in the shower, and a line came into my head, bring out the poison, it's time to heal. And I have, when I was younger, I'd party, I'd, kind of strayed, did all those things, and I have a lot of family members and friends that, have battled addiction, and it was, this song was a gift. I I think I kind of just got out of the way, and God kind of just gave it to me, because I was like, I'll write it in my phone when I get out of the shower, and I'll be good, and I'll write it in the morning or, you know, after work. And I couldn't go to sleep. And it was like, get up, write the song. I'm like, okay. So I get up, and it was like 45 minutes, and it was done, you know. And I was like, all right, this is, you know, amazing how it just kind of came like that. And there's other ones that have done that, but this one I felt something about it. And worked with a great producer, an artist in his own right, Mark Spencer, and he produced out a track that is, I think, probably the best recording I've ever had of myself. And I put lead tracks in it, and there's a bunch of, it's like a fully produced, you know, song. And this is another one that when I play out, you know, I've had people that are celebrating sobriety and everything else that have, you know, basically latched onto this song. So this is called Time to Heal. Bring out the poison, it's time to heal, 'cause I got mistakes I still feel. Oh, these memories are just like a ghost. When it comes to scars, I got more than most. When it comes to scars, I got more than most. I long to do better than I've done. It seems misfortune has had a run. But here comes the sunshine, the cleansing rain. Starting now, I'll never be the same. Starting now, I'll never be the same. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, praise the name. Glory, glory, hallelujah. I'll never be the same. Poured out the poison, it's time to heal. I gathered up the wisdom from the pain I feel. I face these giants with faith and a stone, knowing I ain't fighting this fight alone. This fight alone. I long to do better than I've done. It seems misfortune has had her run. So here comes the sunshine, the cleansing rain. Starting now, I'll never be the same. Starting now, I'll never be the same.
Well, that's a powerful song.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, starting now, I'll never be the same. And and you it sound like you lived some of this song.
Absolutely, yeah. I had a lot of people in my family, you know, battled addiction, and I also did. I masked it with saying I was just like being sociable. Whenever I bartended, I drank a lot. I did all kinds of things that I don't really do anymore. You know, the difference being, like I'll still have a beer, but it's overconsumption, right? And I used to not understand how to stop, and it was because the intentions were different. It's like the difference between, not that any of that is a tool, but you can approach something as a crutch or a tool, right? Like it could be an elixir, or it could be a crutch, and it's like, for me, I masked it with like saying I was just being sociable, and you know, all my friends are doing this, so it's not that big a deal. And then I reached a point in my mid-20s that I was like, okay, I gotta figure something out, because this isn't working. You know, it's compromising who I am and what I'm, you know, supposed to do. And so it's always a, you know, it's never like, oh, I've arrived at this. You know, it's always constant improvement. But in recent times, like I don't really have any urge to go back to that. But
Yeah, it sounds like at some point God entered into the picture.
Well, very young, I was introduced to God. I feel very fortunate. My mom, my dad was of faith as well. He was raised Southern Baptist, and my mom took me to church. And I lost my dad 3 weeks before my 14th birthday or something. Right, so I never had any concept of death until then. So it was a big thing to overcome. But fortunately, I was already talking with the Lord, and I had already dwelt with Him, and so writing in the Lord has always been, I don't know if I can really separate the two, you know. It was like a, you
That's
know,
good.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, I've written, you know, songs that don't necessarily are straightforward gospel, but it's the hope and peace and love and understanding is the cornerstone of what builds, you know, anything I do. So
Well, I just want to thank you for coming today and sharing your stories in song, and it's gave me a lot of pause to think. And anybody that goes back and wants to listen to the show, it'll give you a lot of pause to think. We've all been there. We've all been down these paths, and you're putting them in songs where people can go out on the platforms and listen to them. Willie James, it's been a pleasure having you on this
I
radio.
appreciate you having me. Thank you.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you.
All
You
right, we'll
too.
do this again one of these days. How
Love
about
to.
that? All right.
Yeah.
Willie James here on Stars Across Kentucky.
Thanks for listening, Facebook land.
Had the worst sound of that noise.